scuffle and some fisticuffs and disagreement at the Ekiti PDP governorship primaries holding in the state. One of the leading candidates pulls out of the race. And the federal government says about 3 trillion naira will be needed to be able to sustain the payment of subsidy on petrol. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbalo in Abuja. Let's begin tonight by letting you know that the federal government says it will need about 3 trillion naira to be able to meet up with the demand and obligation to service fuel subsidy, as the NNPC will request that sum from the Ministry of Finance. That was the cabinet members' declaration to journalists today after the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja. The Minister of Finance says there is a need for incremental provision of over 2.5 trillion to meet subsidy requirement, which currently averages about 270 billion per month. The minister states further that only 443 billion naira is presently available in the 2022 budget, meant to accommodate subsidy from January to June this year. Take a listen to the Minister of Finance.
We also presented to Council today a request for Council's consideration to make additional funding provisions to enable us to meet incremental fuel subsidy request in the 2022 budget. You recall that in the 2022 budget, as appropriated, we had made a provision of 443 billion for fuel subsidy for January to June. Having taken into account the current realities, increased hardship in the population, heightened inflation, and also that the measures that needed to be taken to enable a smoother exit of the fuel subsidy are not yet in place.
Now to some legal matters. It's not the first time you'll hear that some attorney generals of some states are taking the federal government to court, but this time around it does look like it's in favor of a state government, and that is the River State government, because the Federal High Court in Abuja today has barred the federal government from deducting funds from the Federation account to fund the Nigerian police force and other agencies not listed in the Nigerian Constitution. Justice Ahmed Mohammed of the Federal High Court today declared the deductions as unconstitutional and ordered that all money deducted from the Federation account belonging to River State be refunded to the state. He made the pronouncement in a judgment on a suit filed by the River State government against the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, the Accountant General of the Federation, the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, and the Federal Ministry of Finance. The River State government, through its Attorney General, had approached the court wherein it sought an order stopping the deduction of funds from the Federation account for the funding of the Nigerian Police Trust Fund scheme. Before we get into our major conversation tonight, let's check out some of your political roundup stories.
The federal government will continue to pay fuel subsidy till 2023. That's the implication of a new proposal for which it seeks to approach the National Assembly to effect an amendment on the Petroleum Industry Act (PRA). The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Mr. Timi Silva, who announced this during the weekly ministerial briefing, explained that the decision to seek an amendment to the law is not politically motivated. The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, is asking heads of security and paramilitary agencies to do more to checkmate smuggling of petroleum products out of Nigeria. The Senate President, who made a statement during an engagement with security agencies, says interaction is to look into the ways of addressing the problem of smuggling of petroleum products to minimize the cost of fuel subsidy to the country.
So this meeting is to look into the ways and means of controlling the smuggling of the petroleum products.
Those two things have to be determined.
The House of Representatives has set up two ad hoc committees to investigate the state and actual production capacity of the nation's refineries, as well as the daily consumption of PMS. The Speaker stated this while reacting to a motion of urgent public importance by the minority leader Ndidi Olumelu on the need to address the issue of fuel subsidy in the country. The Speaker says it is important to first investigate the state of the refineries and ascertain the cost of putting them to function optimally.
Have to be determined before we even get to the issue of fuel subsidy. So I will set up a very tight ad hoc committee of 12 members for each of those two.
The House of Representatives is condemning the coup in Burkina Faso and calling for sanctions from Nigeria and other African countries as well as ECOWAS. This is sequel to an urgent motion by Representative Julius Ihonwere on the wave of military coups in West Africa. They are also concerned that it is becoming a trend and other African countries, including Nigeria, need to address it before it destroys democracy in Africa.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Today, members, leaders, and delegates in the People's Democratic Party in Ekiti State are electing the candidate of the party ahead of the governorship elections slated for the May of this year. It appears things got on a very rough start as members and some delegates are seen engaging in an altercation and confrontations. The heated argument and fisticuff was said to be because of authentication of certain delegates' name on the list from some local governments, but the intervention of security operatives calmed the situation. Earlier, soldiers arrested over 100 armed suspected political thugs at the border of Itawure in Efalaye in Ekiti State. The police say that the suspects were coming from the Oyo State axis before they were apprehended by soldiers on guard at the town. But in Osun State, the police also say that the suspects were arrested with various dangerous weapons, including cutlasses, guns, and charms. Meanwhile, accreditation of delegates is being observed at the designated venue for the PDP governorship primary holding today as we speak. The governor, Udom Emmanuel, led committee superintending over the primary poll has been cross-checking the delegate list as a disposer to ensure proper confirmation and alignment. Meanwhile, one of the top contenders and a sitting federal lawmaker, Senator Biodun Olujimi, has pulled out of the race, and here is her reason for a decision.
I felt cheated. I felt badly handled by the party. I felt disenfranchised. Short of feeling a bit insulted, because what has happened is that for the last almost 2 years, we had been fighting for the Congress that took place and was hijacked by a section of the party. And we've expended so much energy, so much financial resources, and so much mental resources on the issue. The new leadership of our party decided in their wisdom to settle the matter by giving the 14 to the group that we said had hijacked. There were 2 local governments left, my local government and the next one to me in my senatorial district. Let me say I am the only one standing for the PDP in Ekiti State as at today. And there was just my local government and the other one left. And we were expecting that congresses would hold there so that at least I can have a full complement of delegates to take me into the primaries.
That's Senator Biodun Olujimi, is a sitting senator and one of the aspirants in the Ekiti governorship race. Well, we'll be monitoring, and at least one person will emerge as a candidate today. The likes of former Governor Shagwoni is in the race, former Deputy Governor to Fayoshe, Professor Olushola Adeleke is also in the race, and a host of others. Let's move to Osun State, where it appears that a huge controversy is in the air as the political climate heats up against the two major off-season governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun State. A lot of controversies are rearing their heads. In Osun State, for example, a group called the Concerned Members of the PDP in Osun State have written a petition to the PDP Appeal Committee of the screening exercise against Senator Adeleke and requesting his disqualification from the race. The group are petitioning on the grounds of impersonation, discrepancies in the information the senator submitted to the party and INEC, and some of these include 2 different dates of birth, differences in his name, and a list of other issues raised in the petition. The petitioner, Mr. Akin Adeyi, joins us here in our Abuja studio, as well as Hashim Abioye, who also was you contested for
Assembly,
House of Assembly in Osun State,
State Constituency.
A lawyer
2019.
will probably be defending Senator Adeleke tonight. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Adeyi, you are the petitioner. You are a member of the PDP, isn't it? Correct?
Yeah.
In Osun State?
Yes.
Right. And you've written a petition against Senator Adeleke, submitted to the party, submitted to the INEC, or it was only the party you submitted to?
No, to the appeal panel.
Appeal committee.
Appeal committee.
Now, what are the grounds of your petition?
Thank you very much, Ashim. You see, we have been traveling this road for quite some time. That is, contesting in Osun State, winning the election and getting it thrown away just by little mistake or one technical point, either from the opposition or from the within. And especially the last experience in 2018, it was a very bitter one. When we put forth Senator Adeleke as our candidate. Prior to that, he was a senator, and prior to the time he became a senator, he wasn't even a politician, but he benefited from the death of his brother. So we brought him, and everything was done at that time in a hurry, because we just needed to. He had applied through the APC because that was his party then, his brother's party then, but the APC screened him out. They didn't accept him into their party because of all these problems. So he approached the PDP, and PDP, out of the desire to win, desperation to win that election, and we accepted him into the party, and he became our candidate. We won that election, not because of his own popularity. We won it based on sympathy votes because of the death of the brother. We won the election because of the bad governance that Adeleke was pretending over at that time. And then we won that election because we had one solid party then. So, and people wanted the PDP. We were desperate that we should come on board. So all this, and again, he came forward again to say he wanted to be the governor of the state. And as at the time he wanted to be the governor, you know, you have to submit your papers and everything. And thank God, although I never really liked it that it is not Senator Adeleke that is here, because in all of these days that we have been talking, I've been forwarding petitions, going around talking to journalists, I expected that Senator Adeleke would have at once come out to say something. But because he lacks the skill of communication, he cannot write, he cannot read. That is why he has not been coming forth.
He cannot write, he cannot read?
Yeah, I make bold to say that.
I mean, have you tested him? I mean,
I don't have anything against him.
What have you based your... No, I'm not saying you have anything against him. If you don't have anything against him, you wouldn't have written a petition against him. Definitely you have something against him.
That is based on his...
maybe it's not personal, but
yeah, it's not personal in any way.
Now, let's clear. You said he cannot read, he cannot write.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? It was someone who just gotten a degree, we understand, from the United States.
I'm coming to that. Just for example now, this recently concluded screening, whereby all aspirants, we had 6 of them, including Dr. Akiogunbi, Adeleke, Sanya Omri, Alhaji Fatai Akimbade, and Prince Dr. Babayemi. You saw it, it's on the media, when all of the aspirants were filling their own form, writing everything in their own name. One reference media, you had to do the filling of forms and everything for Senator Ademola, which goes to confirm the speculations by people or allegations that he couldn't read and write. But leave that. Why I said I would have loved that he would be here and to defend all of this. I don't know why you have to send Ashim in this case. I don't think it has to do with Ashim in any way. And Ashim himself lacks the moral justification to come here and say he wants to defend or say something about Senator Ademola Adeleke.
Why do you say so?
Yes, he is seated there. Ashim was the very first character, very first personality that took Senator Ademola Adeleke to court on this issue of certificate forgery. He combined with Apex Solicitor.
Never.
And
never.
he used
one of the
he used one
Olabayo. You can see he left the questions. I'm coming.
Wait.
You can see he left the questions.
He used one Olabayo.
He started attacking personalities, and that is his stock in trade.
I just wanted to
I never did. You should bring documents. I never did.
Olabayo Idowu is still living. It's the PA to Gani Olaoluwa that he used at that time to approach the court that Senator Ademola Adeleke forged certificate and everything. So for him to come now, he lacks the moral justification to come here and say he still wants to defend the same Senator Ademola Adeleke in next stage for his return. I mean, recontesting of the House of Assembly. But that is by the way, we are not talking about that one. But what I am saying is that against next time, it should have been Senator Ademola Adeleke.
Right. So let's establish, before I allow Ashim to come in, first on the grounds of its name. That's one. I mean, if we can put up those the petition that Mr. Adeyi took to the appeal committee. To the appeal committee, you saying that there's a 1960. There's a date of his birth, 1960, 1961. He also said that there is one where he had his name different from the name that he submitted earlier on, and you put a affidavit of. Including his voter card, his everything, every of those documents.
Where the discrepancies are so obvious.
In his name, what is the issue that you have there?
The issue is that in his name, on his secondary school certificate, so to say, he was known there as Ademola Adeleke. In subsequent document, he became Ademola Nuruddin Adeleke. That is, when I say subsequent document now, from the same school, one testimonial and one statement of result. One is having Ademola Adeleke, the other is having Ademola Adeleke N or Nuruddin. Then we have other documents, essential documents, important documents that INEC will have to receive later as Ademola Jackson Nuruddin Adeleke. We have some that is Ademola Jackson Nuruddin Ifeanyi Adeleke. We have others that will say Ademola JN Adeleke.
And all of these are by one person.
By one person. And that was why I told...
You can link it to the senator.
Yes, he submitted it to the screening committee with his own hands. And the endorsement stamp of the national headquarters...
to the senator. You have not answered that.
Just hold on. Wait. I'm coming to you. So,
and the endorsement copy of the national headquarters, the stamp and everything is there. He went there with his own hand to submit that these are my documents.
All right. You've laid the grounds, and I'd like just a moment.
That is about name. Coming to the issue of certificate now. Coming to the issue.
Let's take things one after the other. Okay. You've established that in some of his documents he has 1961, and others he had 1960.
60 as his
in some of his documents he has Ademola Nuruddin.
Different names.
And so let me allow you to. You've clarified. You said you did not. You've never taken Senator Ademola.
I never did. I've never done. I have never done that.
But the matter that Senator Adeleke cannot read and write.
Well,
how do you react to that?
Well, you can see that it started from the point of malice, and that is his character. But I will leave the messenger now. That is Mr. Adeyi himself. But I will address the message. You see, it started from the point of the fact that Senator Adeleke, when he wanted to contest the senatorial by-election, he was screened out by the APC. It's a big lie. Senator Ademola Adeleke was never screened out. He was screened. He appeared before the screening committee of the APC, and he was cleared to contest. But because the delegate list was doctored then in favor of a particular aspirant in the APC, it was the PDP that approached him. And he accepted the offer, and he came to the PDP, and he won the election, landslide. And that was how the fortune of the PDP turned in Osun State. We had a turnaround since 2016 then, until 2018. When he wanted to contest in 2018, which he had the right to do, he submitted documents to INEC. The document he submitted to INEC were official documents. His results, his examination result. He attended the Muslim grammar school. That is enough to show that he is educated up to secondary school level, which is the minimum requirement under our constitution. The Supreme Court of the land, the law lords, have cleared this.
No.
I'm coming. I'm coming. You don't interject me. I'm coming.
The Supreme Court never ruled on that case.
I'm coming.
The case was thrown out because of
Please, I need your protection. He's interjecting me.
No,
I'm laying a background.
I will allow him to object if you are laying. If you're putting facts that are wrong.
No, wrong fact. We have the Supreme Court decisions. I have them on my phone.
Read it to the general public.
What was the ratio of that case?
The ratio of the case was that he was taken to court, FCT High Court here in Abuja, on ground of presenting forged certificates.
And what was the ruling of the Buhari court?
The FCT High Court said he forged, and there was an appeal to the Court of Appeal.
And
the Court of Appeal, I'm coming.
Status bar,
I'm coming.
Not on the ruling.
I'm coming. The court, after determining the issue of being status bar, the court now went ahead to determine the merit of the case itself. The court ruled that Senator Adeleke never forged certificate. The principal, I'm coming. The principal of the school came. I'm coming. The principal of the school came to testify that the result late. I'm coming.
Out of status bar, that was how the case was thrown out, and which the opposition.
I'm coming. No.
Again,
you are lying. You are an agent of the opposition. You are an agent of the opposition.
As far as academic qualifications, I will not come and open this.
As far as academic qualifications of Senator Adeleke are concerned,
gentlemen,
honestly speaking, Senator Adeleke is qualified. It's eminently qualified.
Mr. Adeyi,
eminently qualified to contest the election. He was taken to court, High Court of Osun State. 2 cases dismissed against Senator Adeleke. He was taken to the Federal High Court. I'm coming. 2 cases dismissed against Senator Adeleke. I know his agent from the APC. He is an agent of the APC.
Anybody that is not
sponsored the case. I'm coming. He said I sponsored the case. I took a case to court. He has not furnished us with any of those cases where I put in my pen.
All right. So let's clarify.
What I'm saying is this: the issue of forgery or whatever regarding the academic credentials of Senator Adeleke has been laid to rest by the Apex Court that he never forged. The principal of the school came. I'm coming. The principal of the school came and testified that he never forged.
Gentlemen,
the error on the certificate. He mentioned some
lawyer, barrister. Just calm down. I'm going to, because the essence of this is to clarify these issues, to let Nigerians be able to get a sense of what the issues are and be able to make their own decision. I'm going to take the issues one after the other so that we can clarify issues. Are you privy to the documents that are captured in the petition submitted by the petitioner?
And
I'm going to take it one after the other.
All of them here.
In some of the documents that I have here, one having the senator birth as in 1961, and yet another document submitted by him having 1960. Is there an error? Is there a mistake of those documents, or what happened?
The one that is bearing 1961, that if you can check it very well, it is the tax clearance certificate issued by Osun State government. Mr. Adeyi is here seated. Is he paying tax? Someone who is, as a responsible citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, paid tax. Is tax clearance certificate a bad certificate? And that has been corrected. I have the original documents here. You can go to the tax office in Osun State there. That has been corrected. And it even does not represent the age certificate. That is, the birth certificate. It does not represent his age. In all other documents where he has stated his age, the age is consistent. It's 13th April 1960. It has been there. Apart from that of tax clearance certificate, which bears 1961, which other document has any other date, different from what is contained in the birth certificate and all that.
Okay, so
that is the issue. That is the issue. It talks about the issue of illiteracy. It talks about the issue of illiteracy.
Let's speak about the discrepancy in the issue of the name.
Thank you.
In his INEC form CF001, there is Ademola Nuruddin Adeleke.
Yes. In
the statement of result by EDEP Muslim Grammar School, dated 24 July 2018, is Adeleke Ademola. Yes. In his voter card, it bears the name Adeleke Ademola Jackson. Is that an error, or what exactly is the issue?
Thank you very much. You say it is possible. And you know, here in Nigeria, particularly in Yoruba land, you have multiple names. And insofar you have multiple names and those names are traceable to you and you are the only person bearing those names, you don't have any problem. Only what you need to do is to do a deed poll to tell the public that I am the one bearing these names and this is how I want the people, the public, to address me. If you look at those names, you will see Ademola, Adeleke consistently. The other two that are not consistent in all other documents is Jackson and Nuruddin. And you will see that these names, there is no spelling mistake. Yes, it's the same person. There is no mistake, no spelling mistake in any of those names. He's talking about the Bayelsa case. That is quite different. In the Bayelsa case, go and check it. Many spelling mistakes in the name. The man was bearing Degi, bearing Adegi at the same time. Bearing Bi Obarakuma, bearing Bi Obaraga, bearing Wanaga, bearing Wanagaga. In this case, you don't have Nuru on one, you don't have Leke on another, you don't have Demola on another. What you have is Nuruddin, Ademola, Adeleke, Jackson. And Jackson is not a Christian name, it's not a Muslim name. It's a name given to him by his people when he was studying in America.
So let's clarify.
Let's clarify another thing. It's something that a deed poll can explain away. It is not. Not an issue at all.
I have spoken to Senator. I've interviewed Senator Adeleke before.
And he spoke to you.
Hold on, you don't. You calm down. You don't know where I'm going to. And he has laid an allegation that your principal cannot read or write. But I'd like you to react by yourself to what he said. Can he read or write?
Thank you very much. This is someone who served as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He was at the upper chambers of the National Assembly. He moved motions. He sponsored bills. He contributed to debates on the floor of the National Assembly. Did he hire Mr. Adeye's mouth to do all this when he was on the floor of the National Assembly? I'm reacting to all this. Did he hire your mouth to do all this?
Before you go
and you said you could not write.
The issue of name. Before you go away from the issue of name, in the case of Esenowo versus Upong, 1999, yes, at the court, can the way one write is or a name turn that person to be someone else before the law? And the rule is stated here that yes, it can turn you.
Are you a lawyer that you are interpreting that judgment?
Must I be a lawyer?
Are you a lawyer?
Must I be a lawyer? As at the time I left school, as at the time I left school, you were still in secondary school. So now this is a ruling.
The fact of that case,
this is a ruling that even the way you write your name can make you another person. And somebody is answering different names now on different documents. And that person you are saying we should put forward when we have all cases like this that have been determined before.
Let me ask you.
Yes.
The primaries have not been conducted. Why are you afraid?
We are afraid because if we allow the opposition to do this for us, we will never have candidate in that election.
But yeah, are you sure that he's going to win if they go to the primaries?
If in case he wins, we are not going to have candidate. That's why we are doing these things.
They don't know.
Yes, anybody can win because the people of Osun State, they are concerned sometimes.
You think he can win?
Anybody, when we campaign for him, he can win. The last time he came, he was never a politician. We campaigned, he won in 9 local governments.
So you think if he wins, that your party, the chances are in danger?
The chances are in danger because this man will be disqualified. The opposition are waiting for him. So they are even telling us now that the opposition are begging around that we should present Senator.
So now the question, one big issue here is that, and you know, when I was speaking, when you spoke about this, and I was interrogating the matter, and I was trying to get the other side. One of the allegations is that you are being sponsored. And predominantly, they said the sponsor is from the outside, that you are being sponsored by the opposition party. You said it today.
You can say anything. This is not my first activity to correct the wrongs for the party. And this is not the first activity for me to fight a cause, even that is not concerning the PDP. He knows me, everybody knows me in Osun State. If I say this matter is not supposed to be this way, I spend my money, I spend my time and everything. I take the risk. 3 times in my life I've been attempted before that they wanted to kill me because of speaking the truth.
All right.
And this is what I'm doing. I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for the good people of Osun State and the good people of PDP.
I will get your closing thoughts. Just a moment. Don't worry. You have your chance to reply in because we're due for a break, everyone. When we come back, I have yet another guest that you need to listen to. Well, when we talk about the APC National Convention, the names of those who are in the race for the chairmanship seat have been coming up. One of them will be with us tonight on the program. You call him one of the leading aspirants or hopefuls in the APC chairmanship leadership race. Stay with me, everyone, and we'll get the closing thoughts of my guest here on the issue of Osun PDP and the petitions against Senator Adeleke. Join us again, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. There are 2 off-season governorship elections coming sometimes later this year, in the middle of this year. One of it is the Osun governorship election. There are 2 Adelekes that will be in the race. One you probably call the dancing senator, Senator Ademola Adeleke, a former senator, who is one of the leading aspirants in the race, and his nephew, Dele Adeleke. Now, there are contentions over the candidacy of the ambition of Senator Adeleke. There is a petition by Ekiti PDP, who is here with us in the studio. Discrepancies, alleged discrepancies in the certificates of education certificates of Senator Adeleke, issues of age differences and name differences in some of his documents, and that gets us talking. Ashim Abioye is a lawyer to Senator Adeleke and responding to some of these issues. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming tonight.
Thank you very much.
Let me allow you to respond to what he said before we went on that break. He said, look, he's been doing this before. So when you make allegation that it's been sponsored by the opposition, can you substantiate it?
Thank you. Thank God he admitted that he's been doing it. He's a professional blackmailer. That is a stock in trade. So I will not. That is what you are. That is you are a lawyer. Tell me I'm coming. You are. You can take me to court. The issue is this. There is an audio. I have the audio clip here. There is an audio in which he called Senator Ademola Adeleke himself after the 2018 election. In fact, it's viral. It's all over. Where he revealed all that he did in collaboration with the APC. So he's a sponsored APC guy. So so you can ask him where is his unit, where is his voter's card. Is he voting in Osun? He's talking, I'm coming. I'm responding to you. I'm coming.
I wanted to talk.
I am coming. I'm coming.
Because I want you to respond to you.
Even as I am here seated today, I am holding a higher stake. In fact, he's holding no stake at all. I'm holding a higher stake than he's holding in Osun PDP because he's not even a stakeholder. He doesn't have voter's card in Osun. He doesn't have units. He doesn't have anywhere. Where does he attend the meetings? So he is not a stakeholder. In fact, some media houses don't want to call him as a PDP, whatever again, because this is stock in trade, and this is the time for him to make money during the electioneering campaign. Now, what I'm saying is this. Now, what I'm saying is this. I'm coming.
You are not the one that has been
I am coming. As a lawyer, I can speak for him. You read the decision.
Gentlemen, because we need to wrap up this.
Yes. He read the decision there. He said the way you write your name. There was no. The 2 cases are not similar in terms of facts, 100%. So it depends on the facts and circumstances of each case. In the case of Senator Ademola Adeleke, he has explained by a deed poll, there are no discrepancies in his name at all. There are no discrepancies. It is quite different from the Bayelsa case, and he is eminently qualified.
I like to ask both of you these straight questions. As it stands right now, if you go to the poll, what are the chances of your party in the race?
You mean at the general election?
Should the governorship election be declared today?
Today, honestly speaking, we are winning. We won in 2018 before the remote control political apparatus. You know, we all hear that.
How do you mean you won?
Yes, we won in 2018, but on the
INEC did not declare you
first ballot we won. You know that INEC declared
you win. You know, I want you to substantiate because
what I mean is that
when you say you won,
people of Osun State are waiting for us. But it is these enemies within, including Mr. Adeyi, that have been disturbing the peace of the party, because Senator Ademola Adeleke is the man to beat. That is just the point they are raising about all these academic. His academic qualifications are with the Federal Ministry of Education, assessed, evaluated, and all that. So
before
he is eminently qualified. He's talking about impersonation. Who did he impersonate? You don't even know the ingredient of offense of impersonation. If you are talking about impersonation, you are talking about someone who has taken another person's gap as his own.
Gentlemen, so I will allow you for your final thoughts. So if the same question I asked you, if your party went to the poll today against the APC or other political parties in Osun State, what would you come out with?
We stand a very good chance to win if we don't have merchant politicians like himself. He's doing all these things because he wanted the Adeleke family to sponsor his House of Assembly ambition. And that's why he's doing all these things.
In 2014,
they sponsored you, they gave you money.
In 2014,
they gave you money.
In 2014,
and this man is at 1999.
Were they with me
when we were struggling
when I contested in 2014, when I contested in 2018.
When we were struggling with General Oyinlola then, Omishore and everybody for this PDP, and in this PDP, where was he? He was saying that I was also a member of the PDP. Where was he at that time?
Where were you?
He must have been a toddler there, coming to ask, where's your unit, where's your DC, and that.
Where's your voter
card?
When
as at 1999, ask him for where he was.
It was Senator Mishore that went to PDP as the chief security officer.
Yes, and
don't have any stake
at that time, where were you?
And we are discarding away with you guys. We are discarding away with them.
Thank you
Senator
so much.
Ademola Adeleke is the man to beat, and we are winning this governorship election by God's grace.
Good candidate. If
he
we have a good
eminently qualified.
Today, that is
there is no more person
among the rest five.
There is no other aspirant who is more qualified than him.
Thank you very
much. Gentlemen,
cannot present him.
That's how we're going to lose. We need to leave it. And we hope that your party will be able to resolve things, look through the papers.
There are no crises.
And be able to resolve all of this.
There are no crises.
Hashim Abioye, lawyer, thank you so much for coming. Mr. Akin Adeyi, thank you so much for coming. Let's switch gears now, everyone, and let's speak with one of the leading candidates or hopeful in the APC chairmanship race. Senator Sani Musa joins us now on the program. Thank you so much, distinguished Senator, for joining us tonight. Let's hear from you. We've been seeing your face on posters around the nation's capital. Now that we have the opportunity to speak with you, there are reports about you that you are eyeing the chairmanship seat of the APC. Tell us about it. Is it true?
Thank you, Mr. Sheun. It's very true. I'm going for the office of the National Chairman of All Progressive Congress. Just as you said, you have seen my posters, you have seen my billboards. Yes, I'm trying to sell myself. And the reason why I choose to leave the Senate to go for the chairmanship of national chairmanship of All Progressive Congress is because I am convinced that we need to make some changes in the structure of the party. We really need to re-engineer the party. We need to go digital in APC because, look, once we have a platform that is well institutionalized, then the leadership of the country also will come better. And I can tell you that if you look at advanced democracies today, the leadership of those democratic parties in those countries is not the way we operate, and we are copying. And so if we want to copy, we should copy and do the right thing. We have the constitution of the party, we have the guidelines of the party, and why is it that we cannot adhere to them? So I think the problem is from the party, and once we have a very good organization, I think the party will be able to present candidates that will give Nigeria leadership that we require. You cannot dispute the integrity of Mr. President today. And if so it is, then why not everyone within the party should follow to suit and see what that integrity means. And this is one of the reasons I felt I should come in. We have political structures that are only made
All right, let me also ask you, Senator. Yeah, so quickly, let me get your view. The state at which your party is right now, is it repairable if considering the internal squabbles, because people will describe your party as different elements who came together to take power from the PDP, and the agenda was to take power from the PDP. You achieved that, and that there is those fragments still existing in the PDP. And there are those who have said, should the president, Muhammadu Buhari, end its now as a president after 8 years in office, now the APC will fall apart like a pack of cards. Is the situation repairable? And if it is, how would you do it should you be elected?
That prediction is just an imagination and the fiction of some detractors. I can tell you there is no better political structure or political party in this country than the APC. We are going towards election year 2023. You can imagine what happened in 2015, period to 2015 general election. What happened to PDP? You can imagine 5 governors left PDP. And now we are going to a year of election. Governors from PDP are coming into APC, and now you are telling me that is a pack of cards that will scatter. How will it scatter? You're not, I mean, that is not even sensible. And in democracy, in every political setup, there will be disputes. And what is good about it? Everyone will come to the table. We'll dialogue it, and we'll come back and be more stronger. And I can tell you, one of my 3 R's is reconciliation. We will reconcile, we will reorganize, and we will restructure in order to win elections. And let me tell you what we're trying to do. If I'm the chairman of APC today, I will institutionalize APC to make it an entity that will be able to build leaders, that will be able to bring leaders. Human resources in this country is one of the best in the world. But we are not capitalizing on it. And we have turned our political parties just as a platform, just a tool to win election. No. APC
let me just ask you straight. I have a few questions that I'd like to ask you, and they're very short, straightforward questions. First and foremost is that if you win the election, should you get screened and you get the ticket and you run in the race, or you become a consensus candidate? What would be your major agenda, considering that you are going to be going into an election almost immediately? That would perhaps be your first task as a national chairman of the party, should you win. The big question here is, based on the feelings of the popularity of Nigerians, the larger populations of Nigeria, how do you hope your party is standing in the hearts of those who voted for you in 2015 and 2019? Can your party win an election in 2023?
We will win election. And if I'm elected as the national chairman of APC, I'm coming in with 3 cardinal objectives. And those objectives are my 3 R's. That is reconciliation, reorganization, and restructuring. First, I will reconcile all the divisions we have. I will try as much as possible based on what we have as our constitution of the party and what the guidelines has spelled out. I will work towards that. I will try as much as possible to build cohesion, build bridges. It's not everyone that certain offices, there are only one office. It's not everybody that wants to be in an office that will be there. But let me tell you, government is so wide.
The question I'm asking is not even much about your party members. It's about Nigerians and how they perceive your party, the APC, based on the promises you made to them in 2015 and 2019. What would you be telling Nigerians them? If you are leading your party into a major election that will determine the future of your party, the PDP is saying they are waiting, or they are going into that election to root you out of the Aso Villa.
Nigerians will see a party that is very organized, reorganized, structured, and ready to give governance the way Mr. President has been doing in terms of infrastructures will continue. We know that the government is a continuum, and by the grace of God, if we get there, we shall win this election. We shall win this election. I am telling you, Nigerians have confidence in us. Nigerians cannot have any confidence in people that have been in government for 16 years with over $130 per barrel of oil and nothing to write home about. You cannot tell me that. Today, are you telling me that the rail system is not working in this country? Are you telling me that you don't have electricity more than what you used to have when you don't even have it before? Are you telling me that our roads are the same like the way they were dead troughs before? You can imagine the kind of infrastructural development that is going on in this country. You can imagine
but security
the
is another issue. In your own home state of Niger, there is a major security challenge in even your own state, in your constituency. That is something that Nigerians will be asking questions about.
APC
what would you be
inherited
telling them?
insecurity in this country. APC inherited insecurity in this country. And what APC is doing, yes, banditry is a ragtag warfare. It's not a conventional warfare. And what Mr. President has done now, he has given the military the powers now to be able to deal ruthlessly with these people by now defining them as terrorists. Just defining them as terrorists have given the military that ample opportunity to be able to ruthlessly deal with these people. Well, so initially when they started, they were saying,
let me again take you to another very strategic, because if you are gunning for the chairmanship seat of your political party, the question will be, what is in it for Nigerians? What are you bringing to the table?
Those days when you go to Binance Plaza, you are scared, let bomb not go up.
The kind of
if you go to motor parks, you are scared of bombs. But now is it the same thing?
One big question is your party ideology. Your party has said that it wants to be a welfareist party. Your party once said that it wants to be the left of the center. In the real sense, is your party a welfareist party, or how would you describe the ideology of the APC?
Tell me one administration in this country that have given support in terms of social services to its citizens. Tell me one person. There is the market money, the social responsibilities that we have taken, the humanitarian ministry, what they have been doing. What are you talking about? Tell me one country. The market woman today.
How do you describe your party ideology, Senator,
she gets? What
for
are
the
you
party you want
about?
to lead? What would you say is your ideology?
The ideology of this government is a welfareism government. And the kind of welfareism is to see that we take more Nigerians out of poverty. And that is what we're doing. The trader money that you see going on, you in the urban city, you sitting in the studio, you know, understand it. Go to the market, go to the rural market and see what the women are doing with this. So there are a lot of programs, the small-scale industries that you're talking about, small-scale enterprises that we're talking about, where graduates have come out and doing quite a lot of things. It's something that we can be proud of saying we have done in APC. Go to and see what our young men are doing in the IT industry. Go and see how fintech is getting that kind of acceptability within the youth in order to be self-reliant. So what are you talking about? There's no government that have done this. When you're talking about social welfareism, this government is one government that is proposed.
I'm talking about what your party promised Nigerians and what the questions they will be asking. But quickly, let's talk about the race and the nature of the race as it stands right now. There are those of the League of the APC governors, and we understand that there are those that there are former governors in the race. You are not a former governor. You are a sitting senator. The former governors, we understand, are receiving the support of the governors. Isn't that some kind of a leverage for your opposition in the race?
Anyway, Mr. Shemu, I don't want to join issues with anybody. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a bona fide member of the APC, and I believe that from the governors to non-governors to legislators, everybody that is in APC, we are bonded by one unity. We believe that APC is our party and we must make it work. And that is the reason why I'm motivated to come out for this office. And I believe I have something new to offer to this party. We have seen the antecedents of every one of us. And I believe that we can take the experiences of each other in order to come together and build this party to what it should be.
That's a question I will ask. I mean, I remember the days of the MPN in the Second and Third Republic, and you will see what happens where the party is supreme. But we don't see those kind of situations. We see political office holders who suddenly have taken over the arms of affairs of the party. In your own view, and perhaps if you're going to change things, for those who believe that in any party structure, the leadership of the party is way and far above the political party officers who got their powers from the party, who got the ticket from the party. For example, between the president of a political party, say of the APC, and the national chairman of the APC, who would you suggest, or who in your own thought is supreme or comes first in terms of hierarchy?
If for any reason the political party formed a government, we have a leader, and that is the president of this country. And the supremacy of the party must be there. So what I'm trying to tell you is that during the MPN days, as you said, party meetings, party conventions are there. In everything we do, we have to follow the party conventions. What are the conventions? There must be meetings in the party secretariat. And what I'm trying to do is to make APC an institution. And when I make it an institution, that means it's an entity whereby we must, corporate an entity whereby we must abide by all the guideline rules and regulations. We have a constitution we must abide by. We have guidelines that we must follow. And we have a manifesto of which anybody elected under that office must follow that manifesto in order to give a sense of belonging to that party. And as such, the supremacy of the party is what
Senator, perhaps it's on this note I would like you to wrap up with us tonight. And my question is that we've seen what happened in the days of B.C. Akonde, the days of Chief Oyegun, in the days of Adams Oshiomhole. We saw the powers of the state governors and how they played the politics in the APC. Do you fear the prominence of the governors in your party and how they play their politics such that those who say they fear them and that the coming together of the governors is more influential than any caucus or any group in the party? Do you fear that?
I don't have any fear. Everyone has his own kind of qualities in terms of leadership. And when you come with a leadership that is very transparent and clean, I believe that even the governors are also wanting to see themselves to be very clean and transparent. So if we are playing politics, in every organ of that political structure, those that have been elected under that platform of that political party are partners in progress. We must partner, we must coordinate each other. We must also give that due respect to each organ of this political setup. Democracy is all about people, and all we need to do is to see how we can engineer a structure that
we're totally out of time, Senator. But if you can help me in this, Senator, if you can help me in this, for those who allege and say in the party that should the governors overstep their bounds, those who are aggrieved about the role the governors play, if that kind of scenario play out, how would you tackle it? Just 20 seconds. How will you handle such a scenario?
It cannot play out if we have a leadership that adheres itself to the constitution of the party, to the guidelines of the party, and whatever terms that the party have set. Because the basic thing is that once there is rule of law, once there is constitutionality, I don't think we should have any problem. And it all depends on the kind of leadership we are going to put. If you put a leadership that will be toying to going for personal interest instead of public interest, then there will be a problem. And I will tell you that the kind of leadership I want to present is a leadership whereby we will protect the interests of Nigerians, we protect the interests of all members of the APC, and even those elected under the banner of APC.
We need to leave it at that, Senator.
Their own rights
Because we're totally out of time.
Thank you very much.
But we wish you the very best. Thank you so much, Senator Sani Musa. It's good to see you. We wish you the very best in the race. And it's exactly a month to your national convention. We wish your party all the best in conducting that too. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching tonight. You'll see more of the faces of those who will want him to be the party chairman in the coming days on this program. Thank you for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.